Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, Senior Editor over at the Koalition.com.
My name is Lawrence, aka Punk with Toys, on all these socials.
And we are back, people, with Landman Season 2, Episode 9. We're getting to the end. This is Plans, Tears, and Sirens. We saw some plans. We definitely saw some tears. Not so much with the Sirens, but if the episode maybe went a little, maybe 5-10 minutes longer, we probably would have heard those sirens.
Yeah, possibly.
Possibly, right? Depending on the response time for the police department in that town. But real quick housekeeping. Hey, thanks everybody for sticking with us through this entire season and all the other shows that we're covering here on the channel. You know, we just finished up Mary Kingstown, which got renewed for a 5th and final season. And that's, again, I'm bringing that up because that's a Taylor Sheridan show. And as we know, we've discussed it before, his situation, he's leaving, I think 2029 is when he starts at NBC. But right, so it's still good to know that some of his current series are going to continue on until then. So it's not like he's just wrapping it up and leaving. We also found out Nola King, that's a spinoff with Samuel L. Jackson from Tulsa King. That's still a go. That's happening by Taylor Sheridan, and also a Call of Duty one. So all that stuff. But anyway, we got we just wanted to bring up because of Kingstown. We still have some other shows running on here. We got Fallout and Spartacus, House of Azure, and stuff like that. And we're going to be covering Cross. At least that's one of the other ones. We got some others planned, but just right now, set in stone. Cross is another one. So just want to thank everybody for the likes, the subs, the hypes, the shares. We see it. The email comes in. We see the comment. I try to jump in and reply to all of you people. And it seems like a lot of people are really into Landman, which is great. You know, and there's always also people within our age group. We get it. We like this type of drama. Some people brought up some good talking points about how this is very different from the first season. First season had a lot of action, a lot of crazy explosions and attacks and stuff like that with the cartel. This is more the drama. This is more with the family and more the business aspect. Two different ones, but I think just as good. And there's a lot of character development in this one. So especially this episode, you know, this episode.
I didn't really think about it. Yeah, there was a lot of action with the cartel and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This one has been a completely different, but again, like you said, a lot of character building, which, again, I think in TV these days, so many people, so many shows have lost where, again, you go back to The Walking Dead and people always wanted to see hordes of walkers and then them fighting and didn't care about the character building when it came to people. This is completely different, at least so far. And I've enjoyed everything about it because I don't need action all the time. I like to sit down and actually see a story be built and a characters be built.
And this is why it plays a big part whenever you hear about a show getting picked up earlier, like early in the season or way before the second season. Like when this one got announced, season 2, there was already rumblings. Oh, it's coming for season 3 also. And then sure enough, like 2 episodes in, it confirmed season 3. And this is great because when you're telling a story, then you don't have to cram everything into particular episodes. Like the first season of almost every show is like, well, it's hit or miss, right? So they push as much as they can. But then once they find out, oh, we're good for season 2 and 3, we could stretch things out. We could tell more story. Because there's some things here, especially like the TL and Cheyenne, the pool and all that stuff. Some of that stuff would have normally been cut out. No one would care, but they can tell this type of story. They can stretch it.
Well, we've seen that in other shows where they don't know if they're going to get a season 2 or 3, and they cram everything in.
Yeah.
And you know, I talked about Cobra Kai, and they didn't know how long they were going to go, and they did not try and cram every single Easter egg from the whole Karate Kid series into one season.
Yeah.
They said, "Hey, we know this is going to be good. We feel we're going to get picked up." And it went, 7, 8 seasons. They were able to slowly introduce different things and have little Easter eggs. And that's the perfect way to do it. Movies are the same way. You look at The Matrix, and The Matrix is awesome. And they went, man, let's do 2 more. And people were like, yeah, those are movies. All right. Where The Lord of the Rings, hey, we're doing 3 movies,
Yeah.
all filmed together, so it doesn't feel like we have a hit. We have to figure out how to do more. Avatar.
Well, yeah, but the whole point that we're getting at, people, is that when you watch this and the drama, and some people may say, "Wow, some of these scenes are going a little longer than you would expect compared to other shows." This is, I think, a tribute to the fact that they know there's a 3rd season, so they can do that long form storytelling. They don't have to cram, and that's what we're getting this one. And I bring that up because of this episode. There was a lot. There's a lot that happened in this episode. There's a lot of interesting segments that happened in this episode that went a little bit longer, and I'm sure some people are like, wow, okay, this is what we're going with all this. But you know what, let's just get into it. So it starts off with chaos in the house, right? With Tommy, Dale, Nate, everyone. They're all getting ready. They're on the phone. They're trying to figure things out because they're heading out to Louisiana. Now, this wasn't really discussed in the previous episode. We knew they were going out there, and I'll bring it up now because it's a comment that one of the lawyers made, or was it Dale? I think, no, was it Nate or Dale that made a comment? It's like, I've never been to a viewing party for a drill.
Well, yeah, that's
like,
at
right?
the end, yeah.
Yeah, it's at the end, but the reason why is because they're all prepping because of that. This is going to be a big event. Because at first I was like, "What's the big deal? Just get on a plane, go over there. You're viewing the site." No, it's because it looks like Cami really set this whole thing up. That was never discussed before. Like, oh, by the way, we're going to Louisiana. I'm going to set up this whole big viewing party, so then that way you could bring the other lawyers from the other parties that are involved with the money and all that stuff. That's really what this is. This is really to show off that they're serious about this drill. This whole aspect here. But that's what they're doing. They're scrambling. And at the same time, you got Angela. She's freaking out because Ainsley is going to cheerleading camp for a week. Why are you freaking out for a week? She's going away to college. You know this. But yet a week.
Well, she's already upset about that. But now it's going to be a week. She's going to be there. She's 5. I looked it up, 5 to 6 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they drive there, and again, time doesn't really matter.
We have to disbelief and all the shows. I'm sure people are already tired of hearing us complain about Reacher and all that stuff, but it's true. We got to look past the timing. Timing is not relevant in the TV universe. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so she's upset and she's mad because Tommy's not upset, and he's just like, dude, she's gonna be back in a week, and then she's mad, saying, "Go play with your little oil friends" or whatever, and it's like, dude, like, you only have everything that you have because of what I've done.
Yeah. And I think that's just anger. That's just anger, frustration, and not even toward him, just the situation. She's sad. I mean, she's taking a little bit too far. I have a teenage daughter who goes to summer camp for a sleepaway camp for a whole week. It's cool. It's part of life. So here it is. She's graduating, and after this 1 week, she starts college. Right? She's going to be a freshman. So she prepare yourself. This is it. And it doesn't seem it's that far away. It's Fort Worth, like you said. It's a few hours, and I think there was still
hours.
Yeah, but if you remember a few episodes back, Angela was looking at houses in that area.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be one of those situations like I'm only going to see you for the holidays and that whole thing. But anyway, Tommy goes outside to the pool side, sees TL. TL is just looking at the horses, from across the way there. And he says it later on, but it applies here when he's like, what a neighborhood. Because really, what a neighborhood. You got horses right across there. You got the other girl that comes over every once in a while that's on that side. It's like, what is going on? Because at first, from one side of the view, it looks like they're in nowhere land, right? It looks like they have no neighbors. Yeah. So anyway,
they're in a rich neighborhood on the other end.
Yep.
The other side.
Yep. So Tommy just brings up, hey, you want to go for this ride? You're not asking. No, you said every day is exactly the same. We all heard that Nine Inch Nails song. So, and he was like, well, then what are you going to do? Just going to hang out here? I got my physical therapy appointment. And he's like, oh yeah, you're welcome for that. Happy birthday, Hanukkah, whatever other holiday you want to throw under.
Anything you want a gift.
Anything you want a gift. That all applies there. And he says, thank you very much. That is a very good present. But it was surprising because he was like, oh, that was you. Who else would have been?
That was a little confusing. Like, what? Like, hello. I mean, who else was going to? Well, I guess it could have been Angela. She would have been the type to do something like that, right?
I'm blanking. Someone put in the comments, but you're listening. You know this. You know who you are. You brought up a good point. It was like, hey, we could definitely see Angela trying to set TL with somebody up, whether in the old home or just finding him a partner. Yeah. I have a feeling that's going to come up. I'm sure there's some people thinking that Cheyenne or Penny, we can go by that because we find out that's her real name. Maybe I don't think. No. I think there's too much of an age difference. I don't think the show would go that far.
I don't know. They're kind of leading.
Oh, they're teasing. They're teasing it. They could definitely tease that, but I don't. You know what? Who knows? We'll see. Because if that's the case, that door's open with the girl next door because they can't be that far off in age. You know, but
I think a little bit, but yeah, I do get that. I mean, compared to his age, but then we see Tommy just like tosses a cigarette, but
what
in the pool. Now again, this isn't some above ground, and no offense to people with above ground pools, because I don't even have that. And some above ground pool that's like, you know, broken and it's in the winter. Like, this is a very nice pool, a nice house. And then it made us say, like, well, how has he been doing this for quite some time? But Tail makes him scoop it out.
Yeah, I mean, come on now, that's your property. I can understand some people do that at other people's homes and stuff. They don't care. But really, this is if that's the case, if this is his habit and he's been doing this, it must have been full of cigarette butts.
It would have been full, yeah.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, he had the strainer that was right next to it, so he just used it. So maybe he does go in. We never see a pool boy show up, right? And so I don't know, but hey, it is what it is. But they get ready, they head out. Angela gets in the car with Ainsley, they head out. Poof, there we go. We got the intro. We jump back, we got Charles and Rebecca. Now, this was a big issue, as we all know from last episode, the way Rebecca, she's cold. And Charles pointed it out. It's like, hey, you know what? You're going to be alone the rest of your life with this attitude. And we know she's work 24/7. She's all about the job. We all know somebody that's like that. And so this is a big wake-up call. This was a turning point episode for Rebecca. Shows up at Charles' house. He's packing up because, remember, he's got to go to the rig. And he's going to be out for 6 months. Yeah. She's dancing around it. You know, oh, yeah, I said some things. This and this. He's like, I don't hear an apology. Because that's all she really had.
She was doing everything but apologizing. And he said that. And she's like, I'm not apologizing. And he was like, again, he was holding his ground firm of like, then I don't really want to hear it, right? You should be apologizing for the way you acted towards me and in general. But she won't. Which she finally does. Which once she does, you know, then she says, you know, about like, you know, you said I'm going to be lonely. And she's like, no, I'm lonely now.
Yeah.
So she admits, and then she does apologize. And then I don't like this, you know, the turn of like, she's super cold to all of a sudden she's all like happy and giddy. It's like Anakin Skywalker becoming Darth Vader. Like, this was a little too quick, right?
Well, they had alone time multiple times, you know, so maybe that has having those type of relations with someone. And who knows when the last time she even had a relationship, if she even had one. You know, it sounds like she didn't. Like, this is it. It's like she went to school, she graduated, she got into the business world, and that's it. You know, and then that was one of the things that Tommy brought up when he was talking to Nate about it. He's like, oh, I made a sign. Why? Where else is she going to find somebody? She's a workaholic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, this is it. If she finds somebody, it will be somebody on the job. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, but yeah, I get your point where she's all happy, but she said there's something about him. He's good with hygiene products. She likes his collection of hygiene products. She's not fond of his mullet. I don't think it's that bad of a mullet. Doesn't look that messy. It's not a Billy Ray Cyrus type.
There's no such thing as a not bad mullet.
What do you mean? You used to have a mullet. I don't know.
Never had a mullet.
You probably never have. Don't worry. I'll get you. You know what? That's what I'll do for Halloween. I'll send you a mullet wig, and then you could put on a mullet wig. That'll be fun.
I'm trying to get rid of all the hair. I wish it all just fall out. I wouldn't have to shave it.
Boy. Oh, who was it? That was somebody. I forgot it. There's a wrestler, Bobby Lashley. He had that condition. He has no eyebrow hair, nothing. He can't. All his hair just falls off. He has nothing, which is why he always wears that.
Guy.
You know. All right. So there we go. So then we get Cooper with Ariana. They're at the house. She's getting ready. And now we're seeing all the couples with all this, right? We had Angela and Tommy and all that. We have Rebecca and Charlie. They're having go look. And then now we have Cooper and Ariana. She's getting ready to go to work. And he says, hey, I'm going to stop by later. She's like, why? I'm like, you know, I just want to see you. I'm just going to stop by. And so he was like, all right, well, and I'm going to be there late. And that's pretty much it with that.
She doesn't want him to. She's like, I don't care about strangers seeing me. I don't want you to see me. And he's like, I just want to see you. Like, this is a guy that's truly in love.
Yeah,
He feels like he is. And again, I think when we're all in our early 20s and we meet that really, really that person we're very attracted to.
Oh, the
we-
word is smitten. Smitten. That applies here. Charlie said it to Rebecca. You're smitten, and then there you go. Yeah, Cooper is smitten.
It's been a long time, so I don't even know. But again, this is foreshadowing what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think it's foreshadowing going into next season too.
Mm-hmm. I also saw some comments, people thinking that maybe Danny and Cami were gonna have a little thing on the side. That maybe Danny was gonna make the move. Not so much Cami, but Danny. But this gets squashed right now. Why bring it up?
Yeah, I don't see that at all. Danny seems, even though for what his lifestyle is, like he seems like in love with his wife. Like
he is. No. Some people were getting this because when he brought her around with the horse, that the whole thing with the horse, and they were hanging out, and then saying that he had to spend more time with her because they were going to be business partners. But as we see here, real quick, there was Cami in the car. She's heading off to the airplane. But we see Danny getting dressed. Bella, the wife, walks in, says, "All right, what's going on?" He's like, "I got a big meeting. It's going to be hot, sticky, the whole thing." And he invites her. He tells her, and this is again, this shuts down that theory that a lot of people are like, oh no, he's gonna find a way because she's a widow and he's probably gonna find vulnerability and remember try to steal the business. People still see him as that shady guy that Tommy sees.
Well, I'm not saying that's not going to happen.
But... Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Oh, no, I agree. We're not saying that, but this is what I'm saying. It's still people are just waiting for that other shoe to drop. They're like, all right, we've seen him do the shady stuff in season 1. We haven't seen it done yet in this one. But there you go. So they're getting everything ready for that situation there.
Yeah, and we just see Cami get on. The whole crew, they're getting on the plane. And there's really nothing here. It's just them getting on the plane and taking off. There's very little that's said.
That is true. Now, okay, because I'm looking at my notes here and I have it all split up. But I'm like, you know what? We can leave this all together. All right, let's get into it. So this is the Angela and Ainsley segment here. Pretty long segment, okay? Pretty long segment because they show up at the cheerleading camp. Right now, it's the same school. So this is where
I'm confused on this because it's a cheerleading camp, yet they're going to the dorm rooms. You would think that if it's a cheerleading camp, you just have all the cheerleaders in the same dorm but I guess this maybe is partnering them up with who they're going to be rooming with going into the next in a school.
Yes, it seems like there's something to do. Now, from my experience, many moons ago, and it applies. I know some people are like, oh, you drifted. No, this applies. When I played soccer, I went to Cornell University to go play soccer for a summer camp tryout recruitment type of system. And it was the same thing. It was for a week. So we had to go out there. But I bring this up because it was all the soccer players. We were soccer players from all over the area. There was no, physical therapist or no sports medicine because the roommate that was in the dorm. Why are you there? You know what I mean? If this is the cheerleading camp, unless there's other camps going on that person's there,
the school wasn't starting. If school was
exactly,
it would be different. But or if it was one of those things where it was like she was already enrolled in school and she already has her dorm room.
Yeah, and she's there for summer courses or something like that. We know she's a sophomore, the roommate, which we'll get into. But hold on. But that's the only reason why I bring it up, because in my experience, we dormed and I was with other soccer people there, and now it's our camp. We're all there for the tryouts.
Yeah.
Now, in this situation, they said it was cheerleading camp for a week. So for her, and she, but then they combined it because originally Angela wanted Ainsley to stay off campus, wanted to get her apartment, but the school has a policy for freshmen. You have to stay. I think most schools do have that policy. That's legit. They want you to get
most schools, not all, but the majority of schools, yes. Usually freshmen have to
freshmen. You have to say, and it makes it, get integrated with everything. Understand, right? But she goes into her room and there's already a roommate there. And the roommate, very different from her lifestyle of many things. Goes by pronouns they, them. Ainsley's cool with this.
So I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, but they're trying to portray that the roommate that she meets is transgender. and
Yeah.
she starts talking about the pronoun. Well, there may have been other things that she brought up first, but
She,
kind of
she
get into some of it.
yeah, it was a few things. I wrote this down. She doesn't like music. She's vegan. Her name is Pegan, right? Not Pegan, not pagan, Pegan, right? So Ainsley had some trouble saying it. She was like, "Oh, you mean like the pagan religion?" Well, no, it's not that. I'm Pegan. You're saying it right. So they were already butting heads on certain things. It didn't seem like Ainsley was being disrespectful with a lot of stuff.
Okay, so
she's naive.
This is why I'm going to defend it, right? Because we've been like the whole like she drives me nuts when it comes to Cooper, right? She she treats him. But here we are. It's like, okay, she's sheltered in her life, but she's also not being rude at all. She doesn't understand. And when she asks about like the pronouns, right? What are your pronouns? And she's like, I don't care. I don't. And this is something I've said for years. And again, this has nothing to do with any, like, I don't want anyone to take this political. She says, well, why would someone refer to me as she or her if I'm in the room in the conversation? You know my name. And I've always said the same thing. Like, if you know my name, why you don't need to refer to me as any type of pronoun. Refer to me by my name.
Just say the name. Yeah.
Yeah. And she doesn't say anything. Like, Ainsley does not say anything like, well, I'm not going to call you that. All she did was, well, what do you think? And she said, I don't assume.
Yeah. And it could be sunflower. She said, I don't give. Like, yeah, I've been called a sunflower. I go with that. I'm cool with that. Call me sunflower. But
I've been referred to as a sunflower. She says.
Yeah, she was cool with that.
And so it's the ferret, which ferrets stink.
They do.
And so part of the weasel family. She's like, "What's a weasel?" Like,
she doesn't know what a ferret is either. She doesn't know what a ferret. She doesn't know what the weasel.
That is more understanding than never hearing what a weasel is. But then again, I grew up watching professional wrestling and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Bobby the Brain Heenan. That is true. Yep. We're from a different time. But that was interesting right there. We'll get back to that, and the show gets back to that as well. So then we jump over to Cooper. Cooper is with his crew. He's getting ready to do the whole drill site situation.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, all right, this is where we're going to drill. It's on a fault line. He tries to get into some history about the oil. It's going to hit and this and that. But the crew chief said something, and I put some audio because this was good.
Opened up a seam to a reservoir about 6,000 feet down.
You got seismic to back that up?
I got 6 wells to back it up. We keep drilling on this line. We keep hitting. Next one goes here.
Let me talk to Tommy and Dale. See what they do.
This is my crew now. You not my crew? Yes or no?
Yeah, we're your crew.
Okay, we're not running anything by Dale. It's your job to drill. It's my job to choose where. I choose right here.
He's a project manager. He has a legit point. That's it.
Tommy made it perfectly clear.
Mm-hmm.
He's a project manager. Does anyone have a problem with it? And they all said no.
Yeah.
Now, again, I would assume King's position of where he's at is also, again, it doesn't matter who the boss is. Good bosses know they have to have a right-hand man to question things. Now, maybe he questioned it the wrong way. I also think Cooper's taking it as like, hey, no, you know what? I'm the one in charge, right? Which he is, right?
Yeah.
This is where King is doing the right thing. Right? Go back to Star Trek: The Next Generation. Riker would question Picard when needed to be.
But also remember, Tommy said, "Hey, the main reason why you're following my son is because he hit 6 of 6. He knows what he's doing when it comes to this. It's like
so King did the right thing. So first off, King should have just said, "Hey, let's discuss this." He quickly went to, we're going to call Tommy and Dale. And that's where Cooper says, no, we're not doing that. No. And that was the mistake right there. Mm-hmm. There should have been a discussion on the reasons why you're going to do it. In the end, Cooper is the one that this is all going to fall on.
Yeah. Because
he was specifically told by Tommy, who, well, maybe he can get in trouble now. He's project manager. You do what he says. End of story.
Yeah, and the story. But then Cooper sort of leans in again on the whole thing, but not so rough. And he's like, hey, listen, you're right. If this doesn't work, it looks bad on us, but then the whole thing falls apart. We need all of this to hit right now. So it's on him as well. He's taking responsibility. Cooper is, because it's his call.
No, he did not take responsibility. King said that if this doesn't hit, it's all our asses. And Cooper says if this doesn't hit, then our asses aren't going to cover it. Kind of like, wait a minute, whoa, no, wait a minute. I already told you.
Yeah,
So
but he's picking, like he said, the whole argument is that Cooper is picking this drill spot, so he has to take responsibility.
But
Because
King also knows that in the end, any owner, especially if you're working for somebody younger, would be like, wait a minute, you've been doing this for 20 years. Why didn't you reach out? Now this is where you have to come up and say, well, I was told.
Yeah. No, well, I get that. If something goes wrong here, which that'll build drama on the show. And I said it while we're watching this, and the show keeps pointing out, right? He's hit 6 of 6. Come on, he's the wonder kid. Well, that has to run dry at some point. The luck.
Yeah.
And this could be it. And then what? Then King was like, hey, I told you.
And
then
King brought up specific reasons, like, well, wait a minute, like it's been pumping, but eventually it's going to go dry. But we'll see. Again, we have a whole other, at least one season, and God knows there's going to be a lot more to come.
And we got one more episode of this season to see if all hell breaks loose on multiple fronts. But we'll see. So then, right, we jump back. Speaking of that, we jump back to Ainsley. Ainsley goes to visit Greta. Greta's admissions officer. That's what we find out.
It's a counselor, whatever it is.
It's something admissions. She's definitely admissions because she does bring that up.
And
right?
she remembers Ainsley.
Yeah, she definitely remembers Ainsley, right? She goes in. She says she's having an issue with her dorm mate, and why are they put together? There's a conflict, and she was like, "Well, you're a cheerleader. That's sort of sports, and she's there for sports medicine or physical therapy, something." Right there, then why is she there right now? Is she taking summer courses, or
maybe there's different things going on when it comes?
Yeah. But either way, she's like, she doesn't like the way I live, pretty much. She doesn't like my music, this and that. And it's like,
not that she doesn't like my music. She doesn't like, she doesn't want to hear music.
Any music. Safe space. Space.
I'll say this. The way Ainsley approached it was the proper way. And she says, like, as Greta is telling her, it sounds like you guys need to talk and come to compromises, and you shouldn't think this is a safe space. No, it's not. But what about my feelings? Like she dismissed, they dismissed every single thing before Ainsley even got a chance to. So we can't even sit back and go, yeah, Ainsley wanted to do this. The
approach should have been, since Pegan was already there. All right, these are the things that I like and the things I want here. Remember, no air fresheners, all that. And then what about what you want?
It wasn't even air fresheners. It was how they described it. These chemicals being put into the air.
Yeah.
It was just everything.
Yeah. It was and the shoes and saying about even the clothes she had there. So like, I feel offended. I don't want this in here. They went pretty far right off the bat. Not even like 15 minutes or even 10 minutes of meeting the new dorm mate. But hey, Ainsley, and that's what I said right after that scene. I was like, just go to admissions. It's still early. See if you can get moved. And that's what she did. But no, she was like, the admissions. Greta was like, no. This is it. You have to be an adult, just like it says on your license. And you got to handle this. And then she gets up, I'm going to call my mom, or not, and just be a baby and call your mommy.
So yeah, there are a couple things here. So first off, I think Ainsley actually went in and handled it properly. Talked to her. And Greta was looking at the whole first impression of how Ainsley acted the first time that she met. Yeah. And I fully understand that too, because I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
But she did throw out some little slights, which I probably would have too, like be an adult like your license says.
It comes back funny later on.
Yeah, but she instantly calls Angela.
Yep.
Who is what? She's already shopping. Like that was.
She was crying. Remember, that was the other big issue. Like once Ainsley got out the car to go into the dorm, Mom broke down as if like this was goodbye forever. and then called Jamie, and I guess that's the store to shop at or something, or a spa place. I'm not sure, but yeah, she was there. Starts crying, says, "Hey, I went to admissions. I have an issue with my roommate, my dorm mate. She doesn't like me, and then they won't give me my own room or move me or something like that. And I have to be a big person, an adult on my license. I don't even see that on my license."
Yeah, she told me I need to be an adult like it says on my license. It doesn't say that on my license. And so Angela, like, I'm coming right now, which again, you're 18 years old, 19, whatever. And do you really want your mom showing up or dad for something like this? But what's funny is Ainsley pulls out her license and you kind of see it just like it's panned back as she's looking for it to say adult.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking into it. That was funny right there. And I think that was intentional. I was like, you know what? All right, this could be one of those topics, and it's a hot button issue. So like, let's throw some comedy in here, And she's like, "What's adult?" But anyway, Angela shows up, goes into Greta's office, and then instantly Greta's coming with that attitude. "Oh, I know exactly who you are." I was like, "Yeah, you know who I am." And I was expecting Angela to pull one of Tommy's, knowledge rants that he goes on.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. She says, "You know what I'm here for. You know what's the path that I'm going at, and you know what I'm going for here. And do you know what you're doing here?" And she was like, "This is my no. What are you doing here?" And then she was like, "Well, I'm in the path." "Yes, you are." And then she brings up one of three different solutions to this. One, move Ainsley out, move the roommate out of there, or let Ainsley get a pass to stay off campus. She's like, "Oh, I can't do the off campus thing. She's a freshman." She's like, "Yeah, but there's got to be some exceptions." "Well, it could be if it's a medical thing. She has allergies. That could apply as an exception." There you go. Okay. There we go. Now I just need the address. She calls the realtor who was helping her with the houses. I guess she already had looked into finding an apartment. So I guess that suite still available. Yeah, it's still available. All right, set it up for a week. Done. Also, I guess there's pool. Is it the pool for the location or whatever? But
I don't. It seems
that was kind of, I'm not too sure. But she was like, "Hey, all right, how many people are in Ainsley's cheerleading or whatever it was? I think it was like 10 or something." Anyway, she gets pool pass for 10 of them. Right. And she was like, "Okay, oh, by the way, what's the address?" She gets the address. Greta, you heard that? Okay, there we go. That's it. Problem solved. But then once they leave, not only does she tell Ainsley that she's going to have this apartment for the week, but it sounds like she's going to have it for her freshman year as well.
Yeah.
This is it.
Now, I will say this. The thing I liked about this was they did not make Greta seem like she's cowering. She was more like, you know what? It's just easier. I don't even want to deal with you or your daughter. So you know what allergies it is. You find something for her. I don't even care. Because she probably already thinks like this girl's not even gonna make it through freshman year. She's dumb.
Probably. And they could definitely have played that character, the Greta character, differently. She could have been a hard ass. She could have been like, "No, I'm going to make things difficult." She's going to have to stay there or get kicked out.
Yeah, they could have made her cowardly, which they didn't. She was just no. You don't. We're in my office in Texas. Yeah. Like she's like, "All right, I see what you're trying to get," and it's just like, you know what? People like you are not worth it. I'd rather get you out of my life and be done with you. And I'm kind of on Greta's side on this. I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, allergies it is. Get her out of here. I don't want to deal with her.
Yeah.
How many other students am I going to have to deal with?
Yeah, too much. It's too much drama, and that's the best approach. You know what? I'm done. Okay, we'll take it. Like you said, all the other students. I'm sure she's not the only one that has issues with stuff. If you could just, wipe this one off the board because she doesn't want to deal with her, then get it done. The plane lands over in Louisiana. Right, that's it. What's that smell? That's money, right? Tommy says, talking about the oil business and everything that's booming over there, right? We see that Danny's already there with Bella. Everyone's there because they had their own plane. And what was it? Tommy made a point when he was looking at the plane. He was like, that costs $10,000 an hour to fly.
Yeah,
right. The Danny plane. Right. So I was like, okay, so he's showing he's got money. There's a fun scene. We jump over to TL and Cheyenne. Well, we call her Penny now. I like Penny, so we'll just go with that. TL and Penny, they're in the pool. And this is not so much physical therapy as, hey, let's just talk. Cheyenne's just talking about life. That she used to live in Houston. was doing the same thing she's doing here. Doesn't say she's stripping, but and she doesn't know what's next for her in life. And TL was like, well, life doesn't guarantee you anything, as we all know.
That was actually at the end. When she first shows up, he's like,
oh, my bad.
He's like, am I dreaming? Right. And she's like,
you're right.
Like, no, right. And then she's like, I remembered my bathing suit this time. And she takes her shirt. And then he's like, am I dreaming?
You're right. You're right. Oh, correct.
Either way,
he was super excited because she started taking her clothes off and stuff. Like, oh, this is still a dream. So like, no, I just have my bathing suit. That's right, and it was quick.
But you did skip over Angela barging in to Ainsley's room to let her know that she's leaving, and there's a few really good things here. Now, Ainsley went back to the dorm and was doing what the counselor said. She was talking to Pagan. And it looked like they were discussing. Then Angela busts in, says, all right, you're leaving. And you can see on Pagan's face that she's kind of like, wait, what's going on? Why are you leaving? And, hey, you know what? You don't want her here. Isn't this what you wanted? And then she's like, hey, we're having a pool party. I invited all the girls. And she says Pagan had said something, and she's like, well, you're not invited because you don't like having fun. So I think you were right. I know we talked about this before we started. I feel like this is going to be a plot point at some point that she runs into her in classes or whatever, and they start to talk.
Yeah.
And Angela says a lot of things that maybe a little harsh to her, and also, explaining to Ainsley, like, hey, some people, I don't want to say these people, some people, they're just unhappy with their own life. And when you're unhappy with your own life, you take it out on other people.
Or you blame the world. And she had said that later on at the pool party thing. She brings that up again.
Because Ainsley actually feels bad. Like, she's like, well, she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Ainsley Ainsley seems to want to like everyone other than, Cooper.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I find issues with the way she treats Cooper, because she doesn't act like that with others. We see how caring she is with the old people at the old home. You know what I mean? So she's not one of those, she's a narcissist, she's self-absorbed. And no, she's willing to help others. She's willing to be there and just she's an airhead, in a way, but she's a nice
not
one.
In a way. She's
exactly. She's not a mean one. She's not a mean one. And so there goes that. So then I'm looking over here because
then we're at the pool party, and again they're drinking margaritas and
underage. Underage.
And I thought earlier she said that she's not going to drink margaritas because there's sugar in them.
Yeah. And maybe they took something out. Maybe that's but she did bring that up when Tommy was saying, hey, make smart choices. That whole thing. Yeah, and she didn't understand what was that about. But then there's the TL situation and that. Right. So I think that's it. Yeah, then we get to where we see everybody headed to the drilling site, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting.
This is where we get first off, we get the Nate saying 30 years, never seen a viewing party for a rig launch, which I found kind of comical.
But it's true, because they do the drone shot and we see all the tents. We see this is a big to do. This explains.
Only it's not. That's the whole thing, right?
Yeah. No, it's
just people that go see it and make sure like everything's being done properly. But here you have the principal owners. You have the people that sued them for it.
Yeah.
You have Danny there. So
everybody's there. Charlie's already on the rig. You see him on the reception. Rig. Yeah. Pretty cool though to see all this. We get the whole setup and everything that's going on there.
And then Dale eating everything. Dale eating
alligator.
Everything.
Oh, he's eating alligator. Oh man, I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, gator. Yeah.
I
mean, I wouldn't eat it, but that's just me. I'm a picky eater too, though. But Dale's eating everything. And Tommy says something about his diet. He's like, I'm not on a diet.
No diet. Yeah, now I'm looking at my at my notes. According to my notes, this is when we had the Angela in the pool party, and all that stuff. And we already discussed that whole thing that just happened there. And that's where the big talking point from that was like what we just said. It was like sometimes some people just feel that they're angry and they blame the world.
Yeah.
They're just angry at the world and the way things pan out in life. So, so then
I like Nate coming over to Dale and he's like, try this. And then they're both like, wow. I would watch a show around Dale and Nate. They have really good chemistry together.
I wouldn't be surprised if next season we just see an episode of them. You can get one episode. We see this with a lot of shows. We've talked about it all the time with Star Trek. Star Trek will do that with multiple cast members. All right, this episode's all about you, Neelix, from Voyager.
When you used to have 20 to 25 episodes of a season.
Oh, yeah. You got to fill it.
That's how you do your character building.
Yeah.
But there's a lot going on here. But this is where we get Cami talking to Tommy.
Oh, my Lord.
And
this is going to be a talking point. People in the comments, once we get into this, we want to hear from you. How do you feel about this? Go ahead.
Cami's talking to Tommy, and, this is her first time. She's excited. Tommy is not. And she approaches Tommy and says some stuff, and he says, I've done this. This is how I ran my company, and I lost everything.
The risk. He doesn't like the rush. She talks about the rush of all this. He doesn't like it. He lost everything.
No, but remember, Tommy lost everything and Monty didn't, which means they ran things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now what Tommy is seeing is that Cami is running how he did. And so he doesn't get the rush anymore. And he's not supposed to. And, he's there to make sure that this company continues. This is why he was where he's at. He lost everything.
Before. Remember last episode, he was like, hey, let's just sell it. Let's just cut. Because remember, this is still 10% chance that they're going to hit. Okay. And it's going to cause a lot of problems because they're going to spend some ridiculous amount of money just to set this drill up. And if they don't hit within that time, it's gone. It's all over. And that's what he was trying to explain. And she's like, no. This is the rush. This is the way Monty did things. And he's like, yeah, but this is what killed Monty, the stress. And we knew that. We heard. She didn't hear that part. She didn't see that part of Monty. But we did, the viewers, whenever he was talking to Tommy. And clearly, with all the loans he was taking out, as we learned in the first part of the season with Nate reading off, like, oh, we took loans from here and there and there. We don't really have money. It's all tied up in other things. That's stressful. That's all stressful.
And so this is where she says, I can't have the president of my company, doing this. And you know what? You're fired. Now, this is literally just I'm thinking about this. She didn't say that. She's not saying, and again, I don't know because we haven't watched the last episode. She technically isn't saying that she's firing him completely, but saying that he can't be the president. So he may still have a job. He just maybe not be the president. Maybe he goes back to being, the guy that was. I didn't think of it. I didn't think of that till literally just now.
I think he's done. All right. So that's your thought, right?
I'm just saying it's a possibility. I'm not. Okay. I was taking it as it's like she, he's out of a job, but maybe she's just saying, I mean, she's very stern about it. She's like, hey, you know what? You can't be the president.
I no, when she said fired, it's one thing. She said, I'm demoting you. She could have said that. You're no, right. She's fired. I'm taking this. He's fired, but I have a feeling this is where Danny's going to get involved because remember, Danny, he said he wants to work with Cami, but he always wanted more insight with Tommy because he knows Tommy is the namesake of the Landman. He knows the land. He knows how this business is handled, and that's why he said he even gave the loan and made the deal with Cooper because of his dad.
Unless if this is where we've talked about it. Is Danny the shark? He kept saying, hey, once the sharks know what she doesn't know, they're coming for her. Mm-hmm. You need to protect her. Well, she just threw away her protection. And maybe Danny, who knows that Tommy can make him money, takes it over and then says, Tommy, I want you back.
That could be it.
Danny has her. Like Danny.
Oh, yeah. Because he has all the money. He's the one fronting all this. He's the one paying for all this. So yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I brought this up also when we were talking about it. It's like a few episodes back, or maybe was it the first episode where they had the big meeting where she was doing the introduction to all the other oil people. Pretty sure somebody had mentioned about
it
a
was
job
the first
offer.
episode of the season.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not worried, and no one should be worried. Like, oh man, Angela, she's spending all this money now. He's going to be no. I think Tommy's going to be just fine finding other employment. That's not the issue here. But it's just how does this connect with the Cami? And you bring up a good point. I could definitely see Danny saying, you know what? She doesn't see you as a valuable asset. She's not understanding this, but I understand you. I understand this. And be my Landman. Because remember, he's also doing other stuff. He's got other things going on. He's new to the game.
Well, maybe he then hires again. Maybe he says, you know what? She didn't want you, but we bought those oil rigs. Those ones that your son. We want you to be the president or whatever, take over, oversee all of that. There was a reason why it was written that Cooper found this stuff. Yeah. It was not just thrown in there to show how smart Cooper is. There was something that was going to happen. And I originally thought when we first saw it that Tommy was eventually going to leave and buy Cooper's stuff and run Cooper's company or run everything for Cooper. It turned out that it wasn't going to be that way, but maybe this is the roundabout way that it turns out that, hey, they run it together.
So the big question now is hard feelings. Do you think there's a friction now? Is this it? Is this the permanent divide between Cami and Tommy? Oh, yeah.
You been fired before?
But no, I definitely, but it's just, I think in Tommy's mind, he knows that if Monty was alive, he wouldn't have wanted to go down this way. This is not what he wanted because he made Tommy president. He picked all this. He said this on his deathbed for a reason. And this is going against Monty. So that's why I'm not sure why, even though Cami's like, oh, well, you're not following this. You're not super thrilled. And the way, no. Do you remember your husband appointed me this position on his deathbed? He didn't have to. He could say, you know what? Take some money. I'm giving you a severance package. Go out there, do something. And then told Cami, sell everything. I got to go.
You are not in the entertainment business. You don't need to be super happy about what is happening. You need to be productive. And if Tommy is productive, he doesn't need to be happy-go-lucky about it.
Yeah.
He's not going out there and being a comedian and being miserable. No one wants that. But his job is there. He's not there to smooze people. He's there to get what he needs to get out of people for the company, for him, for the oil. And again,
it doesn't make much sense. It didn't really fit for me. Of course, at the end of the last episode, when they hugged, embraced the whole thing, and she said, "You're the only real friend I can talk to right now," and I lost all my other friends.
Well, I think we're going to see a lot. I would say we're going to see a lot more going into the final episode.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see where they go because there's multiple directions, and it's going to be interesting to see. All right, so then now we get over to what I was talking about before, the TL and Cheyenne, aka Penny. Right at the pool, she's talking about her life. Used to be living in Houston, still doing the stripping, all that stuff. But hell, man, what was it that she said that she had? $162,000 saved up. Holy moly, that's a lot of hours on the pole.
And she doesn't have anything to turn it on, so she's like, I'm just gonna keep. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep on putting money away, which is extremely smart because you're. Assuming she's probably in her early 20s?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, think about it. She's early 20s. I guess she has no debt because if she's able to save that much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She has no crazy ex-boyfriend or somebody mooching off of her. Right? That would have come up already at this point. She's got a pretty good, because he was like, hey, where are you going? Taking some of the money. Definitely wouldn't have let her have $162,000 in the bank unless she's hiding it.
Yeah.
So she's got things pretty good, and she's got this gig. Who knows how much Tommy is paying her?
Not much anymore.
Well, exactly. There's gonna be a price cut here. The next day, Teal's gonna be like, I got therapy not today, Dad, and maybe not tomorrow. So you want that? Maybe she'll give you a discount, old man, senior citizen discount. But she starts talking about life and all this stuff, and she does swim close to him. And I think this is where we're sort of teasing because he started saying, "Oh, if I was 30 years younger, I'd chase you around the pool." And she was like, "And I'd let you catch me." They're playful though. But when she gets up close and then she says, if we're going to be honest, and then that's when she says her name is Penny, and she's not really a physical therapist. And he's like, all right, cool, whatever the name. And he's like, I didn't think you were a therapist anyway. And said she was like, well, I'm not that good. And he was like, well, it made me feel pretty good. So don't sell yourself short type of deal. And then that's it. It was really playful. I'm sure some people are taking it certain ways, and I'm sure that's why it was written that way. Just to sort of like tease it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go down that road, though. I think he will eventually, TL will find someone. I think it will be by the hands of Angela, hooking him up with someone within his range type of deal. And it'll be fine. I mean, it's interesting that she has 162,000, doesn't know about what direction to go in her life. He was like, hey, that's a direction right there. You already got a good chunk of change. You can do whatever you want right now with that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. I'm not sure. What do you think? What do you think this is going? Because now they're adding more depth to this character and they're putting more backstory for a reason. They could have just said, hey, she's a stripper.
I don't know. I get that vibe of like maybe they are setting up that it's this weird age relationship. That's something she needs at this point, something he needs. I don't think TL's long for the show. I think that
well, it's got to be for the 2 seasons. I think at least.
I think before the end of next season, he will pass away, and it leads back to Tommy and everything that he's been telling Tommy. I didn't live my life. You need to live your life, especially the way you're smoking those cancer sticks.
Yeah.
So, but who knows? I mean, he's not the story, right?
Yeah.
But he can be something that leads to moving the story.
It's interesting. He's not the story, but he is such a presence. It's like Sam Elliott. We love him as an actor. We love his voice. And when he speaks, you just want to listen. It's like, oh, let me just sit under the learning tree. What do you have to say, sir?
It makes me want to go buy a Ram too. But
right?
I don't want a car payment again.
That exact. Oh man, not for those prices. Rams aren't cheap, man. No, they're not cheap.
No pickup truck.
Oh no, right, Ram. All right, so we head to the patch. This is the last segment of the show, and this is a rough one. This one, I think, again, is going to come back later on because it starts off at the patch. It looks like Ariana already got her tables, everything all situated, tells the bartender, hey, I want to step out real quick, make a call, check up on my son. Says, all right, no problem, go out there. So she goes out back, she makes a call. She calls, she's talking to the mother-in-law, and then we hear some guy mouthing off behind her. Yeah. Now, this was the guy.
It's the guy that shoots a drink in the face.
Yeah, wasn't last episode. It was like 2 episodes back, right?
2 or 3 episodes ago.
Yeah. Because at first I'm like, wait a minute, when did this? Oh, wait. All right, this was back, and I didn't know this, but he was kicked out and he was banned from the patch.
Yeah,
right.
So he's throwing every racial slur for a Mexican, and we can't say them.
No, we want to.
Mexican, so I should be allowed to.
Oh yeah, but then the people want to see your Mexican card. They want proof, man. They want proof. Show that proof.
But they, my grandmother's name is Gonzalez. So.
Okay, that's some proof. I like that. There we go.
But if I tell you my last name, people will say, "Well, hey, that's Spanish too," and I go, "No, it's Italian." Mm-hmm. So, but no, he's yelling at her and telling her, basically she's, this isn't her country.
Yeah, you don't belong here. Because she was like, hey, you don't belong here. You were banned. What about you? Blah, blah, blah.
And, he's clearly drunk or whatever. And he's a big physical guy.
Yeah.
They didn't bring in some scrawny little guy like Cooper. But he starts kind of attacking her. Now, I don't understand, again, because it's a TV show. That's why. Why wouldn't she have run away? There's no doubt in my mind she can outrun this guy. Mm-hmm. But she starts punching him. Okay, I take that back. I told you I'm part of a Mexican family. I fully understand why she attacked him. It is very realistic.
Here's the thing, real quick with this. Because of the angle, and it was dark. She made the first punch, right? She did the first contact. Okay.
Well, he smacked the phone out of her hand and stuff.
That was it. Because I could have swore he did something first, but didn't hit her because she was still standing there. All right, so that's because, as we know, we talked about, there's a surveillance camera. They were showing us from the point of view.
But somehow she got spun around, so she could have run away, because obviously he came from somewhere, so it's open.
Mm-hmm.
Or she could have run back into the bar. I'm assuming it doesn't lock, right? Or else she
No,
wouldn't.
no,
But
she would
either
be
way,
locked out.
yeah, but I do understand he didn't grab her right away, and again, it would have ruined the whole scene because hey, she gets away, but
Yeah,
he attacks her, and then he hits her with a rock,
that's crazy.
and then he gets her on the ground. He hits her a few times. Now I was worried that maybe they were going to kill her off. Clearly, that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
But
no,
this
I
is where
definitely,
he-
once he got her down with the rock, I'm like, oh, he's gonna try to finish it because she can, claim assault and all this stuff. I mean, this is big, and there's no witnesses. It's in a dark alley,
yeah.
But
He decides he's going to essay her. That's
yeah. We saw that. We know exactly what his intentions were.
Yeah,
But then
we can't say the word.
can't say it.
He doesn't like that, and that's fine. We know what it
fine. We know. Yep, exactly. But what we didn't know is that Cooper's here. He just showed up. And he tells the bartender, yeah, I'm looking for Ariana. I'm the fiance. He's like, sure you are, this and that. But then he shows on his phone, like, look. Like, oh, I guess you really are. Okay, well, she's out back. It's like, okay. He goes out there. Perfect timing, right? Yeah. Because this dude was getting ready to do the deed. Cooper comes out, gets him down on the ground, and for a scrawny looking dude, serious ground and pound. Okay, that just shows that rage, that anger, because we know how he feels about her. It's like I could just, what was going off? Even though in the title says Sirens, I heard Sirens in my head because I was thinking of Kill Bill. Remember the Kill?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, that siren. Whenever it was time for something to go down, that's what I figured he saw. Just red, like this is it, and he just was going at him. And at first, we heard the guy moaning, so then he stopped. And then that's when Ariana was like, stop.
They showed his legs stiffen out.
Yeah. And I'm like, she's like, you're going to kill him. And then, he stops and he checks.
But
on
no.
her.
She said, you're going to kill him. And he says, I know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think that's going to come back.
Now, I didn't catch it at the surveillance camera. Does it pick up audio or was it just video?
They were just showing, they were just showing you, hey, we have this on video.
Yeah, because some of them are just video, no audio. I couldn't tell if it was switching from show audio to surveillance audio when they were doing the surveillance scene, right? Should have rewatched that. But anyway, because then that could play up if it does go down. Because I have a feeling there's going to be a court situation. Something's going to happen here. But
she's able to stop him. The bartender comes out, sees what's going on. Obviously knows who he is, and then she kicks him, which again I can understand why. Like he just physically attacked her.
Well, he started talking, so at least we know he's not dead.
Well,
he says, "I'm injured, I'm hurt," or something like that. He said something to the effect.
But the bartender, and I forget what his name is, specifically says, "Stay on your back, do not move." And then we can see now they're starting to show from. We can hear what he's saying, but we don't know if we're actually hearing it. Showing from the from that camera. So now we know there's a camera to the other employees, and he says, you watch him, you keep them away, don't let him off. I'm calling the cops right now. And that's kind of where we end at.
And that's where we end. And that was some ending because it's like, all right, where do we go from here? This is going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. Now
I fully saw something happening the moment she went out in the back.
Oh, yeah.
I think from the beginning, because he tells her, do not count your money out here. You remember?
Yeah. He said, don't count on
I didn't think that it was going to come back to the guy that she threw the drink in their face.
Yeah. And then that's good storytelling because that was a few episodes back. So, yeah, we didn't know that was going to come back. That was a surprise. I was like, dun, dun, dun. Guess who's back? Who's back? Oh, that dude. Oh, okay. Oh, no, that's not good. But then I was also just thinking, I was like, wait a minute. If you're going in the back, that door, I know we said about going into the restaurant, the bar, whatever, it shouldn't lock behind you. But then again, maybe it should lock because then people could just sneak in from the alleyway.
Or they have to leave it,
propped open. That's what I'm saying. They maybe have to leave something propped open. But hey, whatever. Either way, the fact that they showed through the surveillance camera says that's going to play a part because he said he was going to. Yeah, he said he was calling the police on this, and I'm sure they're going to say, hey, you got any surveillance cameras? The guy is going to claim what? She has every right to be there because she works there.
here's the whole thing, right? I told you somehow they got spun around. What if the camera doesn't pick up him smacking that phone out of her hand, but just her punching him?
It could be.
Again, we watched what happened. We saw the angle. We're
Mhm.
going to see him mounting on top of her, hitting her
Yeah.
with the rock.
Yeah.
But we're also going to see what Cooper did.
Yeah.
No,
we're
I
gonna
can tell
see
you
that.
right now that if I was ever on a jury and this is what was explained, I'm sorry. There's no way, whether it be the boyfriend, fiance, or just some passerby, that I'm convicting that person for what he was doing. If you want to do attempted murder because he wasn't stopping, I don't care. You are protecting somebody that was defenseless.
He's a big guy using a rock on someone more than smaller than him. So come on now, there was no need for that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that. So that's definitely something I think that'll come up for the next episode, of course, with the Tommy. And there's a lot of stuff going on with this, and we're heading into a episode. But hey, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for sticking with us. We did it. Yay. If you made it this far, thank you again for all the support. And we do see a lot of people do, they put this on in one of their tabs while they're working, doing other stuff, and then they comment and stuff. And that's great. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about a show that we enjoy, and we want to do that with you guys, and gals out there. I
definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear what your guys' theory is going to be.
Yes.
Because that's the biggest thing. And again, it's not to be like, I was right. I mean, some people love that, but it's just nice to know, like, if someone's theory turns out.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the person, and I'm going to write these names down because there was a few comments, but the person was like, hey, I think TL's going to have something out of this. Angela's probably going to hook it up. I'm on point with that. I think something's definitely going to happen. Because if there's anything that this is withholding with Penny is telling us, or at least TL, is that maybe he can't find love in his later years. And maybe he will look for that as opposed to just sitting out watching the sunset and waiting to die.
So my theory is when the show ends, this is all TL sitting there watching the sunrise that he's been contemplating this whole series.
Oh, wow. Man. This is all in his head. This is
like Newhart.
The Newhart one,
where he wakes up and he's with his from the Newhart.
Bob
Newhart, whatever, with his other
Bob Newhart show. There was also St. Elsewhere's Fire or some of the hospital.
I never watched that.
It was all in a snow globe. It was like it wasn't real, and the little kid picked it up and put it on his shelf.
They did it with Malcolm in the Middle too.
Malcolm in the Middle did something like that, or Roseanne,
where Hal wakes up. I was a drug runner and all this other stuff, and Roseanne was stupid.
Yeah, that was it. She was just writing books, and the whole Lanford thing was just part of her story, and she just finished and she put on a bookshelf.
It was
all fiction.
Season. It was the last season that Dan died at the end of the season before.
So bad.
And then they brought the season back, and
all right. So that's your theory that this is all TL's thing. Hey, we'll find out. That would be interesting if there is at the end of season 3.
It works because remember, I've equated this to Dallas, and if everyone remembers, Bobby Ewing died. So there's one season that next season he's in the shower because they begged him to come back. So they acted like that season was all a dream.
So what say you people? Is this all a dream in TL's mind? So
is Bobby Ewing going to be sitting there going, "Oh my God, I was thinking."
Did he ever see Tommy again when he left at 16? That was it. He's just assuming that his son became a landman just like him and had an awesome family that he was having trouble with.
And we come to find out that he married Angelina Jolie, then got divorced.
Right? Oh my God, that sounds like a dream right there. If you put those two together, it's like, guess what? They got married. He looks just like how he does now back then. You know what I mean? He's got the same condition as Sam Elliott looks like. They always look old. But anyway, thank you for the likes, the subs, the follows. Thanks for all the support, people. This has been great. And we'll be back next week for the finale. So people, put your comments, put your theories like Lauren said, and we'll bring that up and we'll see if any of it comes to pass. All right, everybody. Peace. Have a good week.
Take care.